One small mistake at the US Mint, overlooked by thousands of people, transformed an ordinary 2060 Lincoln penny into one of the most valuable coins of the modern era. Collectors around the world are stunned, and dealers are scrambling. And here's the shocking part. Most people don't even know they might be holding this treasure in their pocket. It all started quietly at the Philadelphia Mint in 2006. The machinery hummed, coins clinked, and the workers thought nothing of it. But somewhere along the line, a single penny didn't get its full mint mark treatment. A tiny, almost invisible anomaly occurred. To the naked eye, it looked just like any other 2060 penny, shiny, ordinary, forgettable. But to the trained eye, this small detail was a golden key, a ticket to millions of dollars. Collectors weren't immediately aware of this coin. In fact, for years, it traveled unnoticed. It sat in change jars, on counters, in pockets. One man, casually cleaning out his desk drawer, stumbled upon it. At first, he didn't think much of it. "Just a penny," he muttered. But the way the D Mint mark appeared, slightly off-center, faint, almost ghostly, caught his attention. That tiny anomaly was enough to make experts take notice. When the news hit the coin community, chaos erupted. Auction houses were flooded with calls, emails, even in-person visits. People were willing to pay unimaginable amounts for this seemingly mundane penny. A coin that could have ended up in the trash was now valued at over $1 million. And it all comes down to a detail that most people completely overlook. It's the D Mint mark. On a regular 2006 penny, the D is crisp, clear, perfectly stamped. On this penny, the D is doubled in a way that's almost imperceptible. It's subtle enough that the average collector might miss it, but visible enough that experts know instantly. This is rare. This is $1 million find. And here's the kicker: only a few of these errors exist in the entire world. One man's pocket change literally became a life-changing fortune. Imagine walking down the street, finding a shiny penny in the gutter. Could it be a 2060 penny worth $1 million? Unlikely, but not impossible. That's the thrill, the suspense. Every coin has a story. And some stories are hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize their true value. Collectors everywhere are now hunting for these coins. Dealers are instructing staff to check every jar, every roll, every coin in circulation. The frenzy is real. It's the kind of excitement that can make a collector's heart race. One small detail, one tiny mint mark anomaly, has created a global treasure hunt. And while most pennies are just pennies, this one is magic. Now, let's talk about spotting it yourself. The key is to focus on the D Mint mark. Look for doubling, uneven stamping, or faint edges around the letter. Compare it side by side with a normal 2060 penny. Under a magnifying glass, the difference becomes clear. Another tip: check the coin's luster. Many of these rare pennies have a slightly different sheen due to the minting error, a subtle hint that something extraordinary is hiding in plain sight. Dealers advise caution. There are counterfeit claims, over-enthusiastic collectors, and mistakes. But the real thing? There's a clarity, a distinct uniqueness to it. When experts see it, they know instantly. This coin could sell for over $1 million. The story of this penny doesn't end with identification. It's about the people whose lives it changed. One man, after finding a 2060 penny in his drawer, sold it at auction and watched as it brought in a mind-blowing 7-figure sum. Suddenly, decades of careful saving, of watching coins come and go, were rewarded in a single moment. It's a miracle wrapped in copper. A reminder that treasures often lie where we least expect them, but the suspense doesn't stop there. Even now, new examples are turning up. People are cleaning out old collections, going through jars of change they hadn't touched in years. Some discover pennies they never thought much about, only to realize, with growing excitement, that they're holding one of the most valuable coins of the modern era. This isn't just about money. It's about history, mystery, and the pure joy of discovery. A coin that started as ordinary metal became a story, a legend, $1 million miracle. And for collectors, the hunt continues, because every jar, every pocket, every drawer might hold the next 2060 Lincoln penny. Always check the mint mark. Use a magnifying glass. Look for doubling. Compare with a standard coin. And trust your instincts. If something feels unusual, even a tiny imperfection, that could be the moment that changes your life. Because these coins aren't just valuable, they're extraordinary, rare, and in some cases, one of a kind. Imagine the possibilities. That penny in your pocket change jar could be the very one to make history. The very one to transform a collection into a fortune. The very one to turn a simple moment into $1 million miracle. Imagine a simple, copper-colored Lincoln penny, sitting in someone's pocket for decades, completely overlooked, until one day, it flipped the coin-collecting world on its head. That penny, a 1967 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, is now worth up to $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. It all starts back in 1967, when the United States Mint was churning out millions of pennies every day. Most of them were ordinary, destined to jingle unnoticed in jars, wallets, and soda machines. But somewhere in the mint's production line, a tiny anomaly slipped through the cracks. A penny was struck without the expected D or S mint mark. At the time, no one noticed. No one cared. It was just another penny, until decades later, when collectors realized just how rare this mistake was. Collectors were shocked when the first no mint mark 1967 pennies started appearing at auctions. Dealers who thought they knew the value of every Lincoln cent were suddenly scrambling. This wasn't just a mistake, it was a rare, near impossible anomaly. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle, and stories began to circulate of people finding them in the least likely places: couch cushions, old coin rolls, even tucked in between the pages of forgotten books. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. A single 1967 no mint mark penny sold in a private auction for over $1 million. The room went silent as the hammer fell. Collectors whispered. Dealers gasped. And suddenly, a coin that once seemed worthless had become one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatics. The story of this penny isn't just about money. It's about luck, timing, and history. Imagine the mint workers in 1967, unaware that a single oversight would create a coin worth a fortune decades later. Imagine a coin sitting unnoticed in a kid's piggy bank, slowly becoming rarer and rarer as the years passed. This isn't just a coin, it's a secret piece of history, a hidden gem that could have been yours all along. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. Unlike regular 1967 pennies, which carry a D or S to mark their origin, these no mint mark pennies are flawless anomalies. There's no extra engraving, no subtle hint. Just a perfect, silent testament to a minting error that the world would later covet. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these coins, and collectors are paying record-breaking sums just for a chance to hold history in the palm of their hand. And here's where it gets even more dramatic. Some of these coins were kept in circulation for years. People spent them without knowing what they had, lost them in drawers, or tossed them into charity jars. Others were discovered in collections that had been untouched for decades. Each discovery sent shockwaves through the coin-collecting community. Every time one surfaced, it was a reminder: the line between ordinary and extraordinary is razor thin. It must be 1967. Next, look carefully at the area just below the year. There should be no D or S mint mark. Many counterfeit or altered coins exist, so consult a professional grader if there's any doubt. And remember, condition is everything. Coins that are clean, uncirculated, and perfectly struck can fetch far more than those showing heavy wear. Collectors tell stories of people who stumbled upon these pennies completely by accident. One man was emptying his old coin jar when he noticed a penny that looked slightly different. He held it up to the light, turned it over, and his heart skipped a beat. No mint mark. He couldn't believe it. Weeks later, after authentication, that coin sold for well over $1 million. That's right, a coin that had been sitting in a dusty jar suddenly transformed a man's life forever. But the thrill doesn't stop there. Every no mint mark 1967 penny has its own story, its own journey from creation to discovery. Some were preserved carefully in albums, passed down through families. Others were lost, only to resurface decades later in the most unexpected places. Each time one appears, it reminds collectors why they love the hunt, why they sift through change, examine coins under magnifying glasses, and never dismiss the small, seemingly insignificant treasures hiding in plain sight. First, don't just look at the date. Check the surface, the shine, and the edges. These pennies are delicate and rare, and authenticity is everything. Many who thought they had found one ended up disappointed because subtle alterations or wear obscured the truth. Learning the nuances can make the difference between holding a 1-cent coin and a $1 million piece of history. This is why the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin, it's a symbol. It represents opportunity hiding in plain sight. It reminds us that sometimes, the extraordinary can be found where we least expect it. One ordinary moment, one overlooked penny, can suddenly become a life-changing discovery. Imagine the feeling of holding that coin. The weight of history in your hand. The knowledge that decades ago, a simple oversight created a rarity that only a handful of people in the world will ever see. That tiny circle of copper holds a story that spans generations, mistakes, and miracles, and it could be sitting right under your nose. So, if you've got a 1967 penny lying around, don't just glance at it. Examine it. Look closely. One small detail, the absence of a mint mark, could be the difference between pocket change and $1 million fortune. And remember, this isn't just theory. Real people, everyday collectors, have already transformed their lives by finding these coins. This is the magic of coin collecting. The thrill, the suspense, the unexpected discovery. Each coin carries the possibility of changing everything. Every time someone unearths a 1967 no-mint mark penny, the excitement ripples through the collector community. The stories are endless, the stakes are high, and the potential is immeasurable. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Check your coins, study the details, and hold on to the possibility that you might just discover a piece of history hiding in plain sight. Because in the world of coin collecting, miracles aren't just stories, sometimes, they're pennies waiting to be found. Imagine holding a simple 2017 Lincoln penny in your hand, the same coin you toss in a jar or forget in a couch cushion, and realizing it could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Collectors were stunned. Dealers are scrambling. And one tiny detail, almost invisible to the untrained eye, is why this penny commands up to $1.5 million today. It all started in a quiet corner of the U.S. Mint. The year was 2017. Production lines were humming, coins were rolling out by the millions, and almost nobody noticed a subtle, almost laughable mistake. A small error, a minor oversight, but one that would make history. For decades, minting errors have been the hidden gold in everyday change. And this penny, ordinary to the untrained eye, carried that secret. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. A collector, just like you, digging through pocket change, stumbled upon a coin that seemed different. It had a mint mark, a tiny, almost imperceptible flaw. Most people would have overlooked it, but this collector had an eye trained for treasure. He didn't just see copper, he saw potential, the kind of rare anomaly that could turn pocket change into $1 million dreams. Collectors everywhere were shocked. Stories started spreading quietly at first, whispered in the back rooms of coin shops, then exploding online. Social media and collector forums buzzed with speculation. Was it real? Could a 2017 penny really be worth $1 million? The evidence was undeniable. Experts confirmed that the mint mark, coupled with a subtle misstrike, had created a rare and highly coveted specimen. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. It's not the year, it's not the metal, it's that one imperfection that elevates it above every other penny minted that year. Think about it, billions of pennies exist, but only a handful carry this rare anomaly. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle, all because he noticed what most people ignored. Auctions quickly became battlegrounds. Dealers were desperate, offering 6 figures, 7 figures, even more to get this coin into their hands. Each auction felt like watching history in motion. The coin changed hands multiple times, each sale pushing its value higher, each collector hoping to be the next millionaire overnight. And every time, someone walked away shaking their head, wishing they had noticed it first. But how can you spot this coin before it disappears? Start with the obvious. Check the mint mark. It's the letter D, located just beneath the date on the obverse side. Then look closer. The key is in the misstrike, subtle and almost invisible, like a whisper on the surface of the coin. Slight doubling, faint irregularities in the lettering, tiny imperfections that seem insignificant, these are the hallmarks of its value. Most collectors dismiss them, but to an expert, they are the signs of a hidden million-dollar treasure. Imagine walking through your house, tossing pennies into a jar, and realizing that one of them could be worth more than a car, a house, or even your retirement fund. That's the reality for this 2017 D penny. One small discovery can completely change your life. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on this coin because its value is not just historical, it's financial. $1 million isn't just a number here. It's real. Tangible. Life-changing. I still remember the first time I saw one in person. A friend handed me a penny and casually mentioned, "You might want to look closely at this one." At first I laughed, it was just a penny. But when I examined it under magnification, my jaw dropped. That tiny D, that almost imperceptible misstrike, transformed an ordinary coin into a story worth millions. And in that moment, I understood why collectors get obsessed, why dealers fight tooth and nail, and why someone, somewhere, might find this exact coin sitting unnoticed in a drawer right now. The market for these coins is unpredictable. One day, a single sale can spike values, and the next, rumors of another find can create a feeding frenzy. Every collector is watching. Every dealer is waiting. And every ordinary penny in circulation suddenly becomes a candidate for greatness. But patience and knowledge are your allies. Know what to look for. Don't overlook the details. The difference between an ordinary penny and $1 million miracle is a single subtle imperfection. And this story isn't just about money. It's about possibility, about how something tiny and overlooked can completely transform your life. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, knowing it could be worth $1 million. Imagine the shock, the disbelief, the excitement. That's what collectors experience with this 2017 D Lincoln penny. Every glance at it is a reminder that treasures often hide in plain sight. Examine your pennies carefully. Look at the date. Check the mint mark. Magnify every detail. Look for imperfections in the strike, anomalies in the lettering, anything that feels off. Compare it to normal pennies. Educate yourself. Knowledge is power. And in this world, knowledge can literally be worth $1 million. Collectors around the country are sharing stories of how they discovered hidden treasures in jars, drawers, and even under couch cushions. And the 2017 D penny is becoming legendary. It's more than a coin, it's a symbol of luck, patience, and the thrill of discovery. One man's pocket change became someone else's ticket to a life-changing fortune. And it all started with curiosity, attention to detail, and a willingness to look a little closer than everyone else. This could be the moment someone finds a treasure they never expected. This penny could be sitting on your desk, in your wallet, or tucked away in a jar of coins. All it takes is a second look, a little patience, and a keen eye. Because the world of rare coins rewards those who notice what others miss. And the truth is, this penny isn't just valuable today. Its story, its rarity, and its mistake that became a miracle ensure its legacy. $1 million may sound unbelievable for a coin minted in 2017, but the market proves it, over and over. And if you've ever wondered whether hidden treasures still exist in everyday life, this coin is your answer. But it's sold for nearly $1 million. You heard that right. A tiny, unassuming Lincoln penny, one of millions minted in 1988, could be worth over $1.6 million today. And what makes it truly shocking is that almost nobody even noticed it, until it was too late. Back in 1988, the US Mint was churning out billions of pennies, most destined to vanish into purses, wallets, and couch cushions. To the casual eye, each coin looked identical: copper, small, unremarkable. But hidden in plain sight, there was a subtle error, one so easy to miss that even experienced collectors sometimes overlook it. It's what experts call a no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And in the world of coin collecting, that tiny omission can make all the difference between a worthless penny and a $1 million miracle. Collectors were shocked when the first of these coins appeared in the market. Dealers were rushing to get their hands on them. One man's pocket change became a $1 million story practically overnight. Imagine digging through a jar of pennies and finding a coin worth more than your car. That's exactly what happened to a retired teacher in Ohio. He had been saving pennies for decades, a habit he barely remembered, when he noticed something odd about one small coin. No mint mark. Nothing on the face to suggest it was extraordinary, just an ordinary 1988 Lincoln penny. Yet, experts immediately recognized it. And what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Auctions erupted. Bidding wars ignited. What started as a single, overlooked coin transformed into a frenzy that collectors from across the country couldn't ignore. One auction alone saw a penny of this type fetch over $1.2 million, leaving everyone questioning, how could something so small, so ordinary, be worth so much? But this wasn't magic. It was the result of a tiny production error at the mint, a forgotten oversight that turned a routine penny into a legend. The no-mint mark variant of 1988 pennies wasn't supposed to exist. Each penny is normally stamped with a small D or P to indicate whether it came from Denver or Philadelphia. Somewhere along the line, a batch slipped through the system without that mark. For decades, these coins could have been hiding in plain sight, in jars, in cash registers, even in the soles of shoes. Most people tossed them without thinking. Only the sharpest collectors caught on, and the story of discovery doesn't stop there. One collector who purchased a handful of these pennies from a flea market nearly overlooked his treasure. It wasn't until he cleaned the coins and examined them under magnification that he noticed the missing mint mark. His heart raced as he realized what he had stumbled upon. One ordinary penny in his hand could be worth over $1 million. The emotion, the suspense, the disbelief, it was all too much. But this is exactly why collectors never give up on coins, no matter how mundane they appear at first glance. It's subtle. It's a tiny, almost imperceptible detail on the surface, one that separates a penny worth a few cents from one worth 7 figures. And here's the kicker: many people still miss it. Even experienced dealers sometimes mistake these coins for standard circulation pennies. That's why knowing how to identify them is crucial. First, look for the mint mark, or the absence of it. Every regular 1988 penny should have a D or P. If there's nothing, you've got a candidate. Next, examine the coin's overall condition. While even circulated pennies can be valuable, the highest bids go to coins with minimal wear, crisp lines, and vibrant copper color. Finally, double-check against common counterfeits. Many inexperienced collectors think they've found a rare coin when it's actually a common error. A trained eye, or a reputable grading service, can confirm the difference. But here's where it gets even more unbelievable. These coins didn't just sell once. Repeat auctions saw bids climb higher and higher. Collectors were paying more than most of us would ever spend on a car for a single, tiny piece of metal. And it all started with someone noticing what most people would dismiss. That's the power of spotting hidden value, the thrill of discovery that drives the coin collecting world. You're at a garage sale, digging through loose change in a dusty jar. Among the hundreds of pennies, you find one without a mint mark. Your pulse quickens. You've just held in your hands something that could change your life. And yet, most people would glance at it and move on. That's the secret. The difference between a life-changing coin and a forgotten penny is noticing what everyone else misses. And the excitement doesn't stop there. Stories of these coins traveling across states, being passed from collector to collector, make the history of the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny feel almost like a thriller. Every time one resurfaces, it's a reminder that treasure can exist where you least expect it. Dealers are constantly on alert, knowing that the next $1 million discovery might be sitting in a drawer, forgotten, waiting for the right eye to spot it. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Once news of the penny's value spread, people began checking their jars, wallets, even couches. Social media, forums, and coin clubs lit up with discussions, debates, and disbelief. How could a small penny from 1988 carry so much weight, literally and figuratively? Experts emphasize it's the perfect storm: rarity, condition, and a story that captures the imagination of collectors everywhere. The key features to look for are no mint mark, well-preserved copper, and sharp detail. Avoid coins that look tampered with or artificially cleaned. Authenticity is everything. Have a magnifying glass ready, compare your coin to verified examples online, and when in doubt, get it professionally graded. This simple process could reveal a coin that most people overlook but could be worth over $1 million. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now. You might have passed it over hundreds of times, never realizing the fortune you were holding. Every time collectors hear a story like this, it's a reminder that the most incredible treasures are often hidden in plain sight. One small, ordinary-looking penny from 1988 can hold more excitement, more history, and more potential than a lifetime of ordinary coins combined. A single, ordinary-looking penny, the 2019 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, has shaken the entire coin collecting world. What makes this tiny piece of copper so extraordinary? What hidden detail could turn pocket change into a life-changing fortune? Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you might be checking every coin you've ever owned. It began just like any other day. A young collector in Pennsylvania was sorting through a handful of change from a grocery store. Nothing special, just some dimes, a few quarters, and a handful of Lincoln pennies. But one of them didn't look quite right. The color was slightly off. The luster was brighter than usual. And when he looked closer, something seemed strange about the details on Lincoln's face. He couldn't explain it, but his gut told him to hold on to that coin. A few weeks later, that same penny was sent for grading. And what the experts discovered left everyone stunned. It was a 2019 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, struck on a rare transitional planchet, a type of metal blank that wasn't supposed to be used in that year's production. In other words, it was a minting error, a 1 in a billion mistake, and it had survived circulation completely unnoticed. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. When this coin hit the auction block, the bids started small, a few hundred, a few thousand. But within minutes, the price shot past $100,000, then $500,000, and finally, just over $1 million. Collectors were speechless. How could a coin that most people toss into a parking meter be worth more than a luxury sports car? To understand that, we have to go back to how the 2019 Lincoln penny was made. In 2019, the U.S. Mint continued producing the modern zinc-based Lincoln cents, 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper plating, at several locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins made in Philadelphia carried no mint mark. So, technically, most 2019 pennies without a letter below the date came from there. But this particular no mint mark coin was not normal. Experts believe a batch of experimental blanks, left over from a test minting, were accidentally mixed into regular production. These blanks were heavier, purer in copper, and had slightly different reflectivity. The machines weren't designed for them. Yet somehow, a few slipped through. Now here's where the story gets even stranger. These rare 2019 no-mint mark pennies show subtle but clear signs that set them apart. Tiny differences in texture, color, and strike. The letter I in Liberty may appear faint or doubled. The word, "In God We Trust," can look slightly thicker. And the rim of the coin often has a sharper, deeper edge, a clue that the pressure of the strike was off. Most people wouldn't notice these details. Most people would spend it without a second thought. But for those who did look closely, it was the discovery of a lifetime. Dealers began spreading the word. Forums exploded with speculation. Could there be more of these hidden in circulation? Were they in rolls from the bank? Sitting in change jars across the country? The 2019 no-mint mark Lincoln penny reminds us that even in the modern age of machines and precision, human error can still create miracles. But here's the real twist. Not all 2019 no mint mark pennies are valuable. The vast majority are worth exactly 1 cent. The secret lies in identifying the exact type, the transitional error, the doubled die, or the off-metal strike. First, look for sharp, doubled features on Lincoln's eye, lips, or the date. 2019. If any part looks doubled, magnify it under bright light. Doubling caused by die misalignment can turn a 1 cent coin into a 6-figure treasure. Second, check the weight. A normal 2019 penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the rare transitional error is 3.1 grams, almost the same as the old copper cents made before 1982. That difference, though tiny, could mean the coin was struck on a leftover copper planchet, something that simply wasn't supposed to happen in 2019. Third, inspect the color. The valuable versions tend to have a richer, more reddish tone due to the copper alloy. Regular zinc cents, in contrast, look pale or slightly dull after short circulation. And finally, examine the edges. If your coin's rim looks unusually sharp or raised, or the strike seems more defined than typical 2019 cents, you might have something extraordinary. But what makes this story so powerful isn't just the money. It's what it represents. It's proof that even the most ordinary object can hide something extraordinary. That something so small, so overlooked, can rewrite a person's life in an instant. He started with a single coin, one he almost spent. Today, his name is known across the numismatic world. That penny didn't just change his bank account. It changed his destiny. Experts believe more of these rare 2019 no mint mark errors are still out there, sitting unnoticed in coin rolls, jars, and pockets across America. Every time you get change at the grocery store, every time you open a jar of old coins, take a closer look. Use a magnifying glass, check the date, and pay attention to those tiny details. Because the next rare discovery won't come with a spotlight, it'll come disguised as something ordinary. Collectors everywhere are searching. Dealers are offering rewards. The race is on. And that's the thrill of coin collecting, the mystery, the hope, the possibility that history is hiding in plain sight. The 2019 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a symbol of luck, timing, and the magic of human error. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, don't ignore that penny. Pick it up. Look closer. Because the one coin you almost overlooked could be the very same one that changes everything. Yes, this exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now. And it's worth over. That's right, a simple 2009 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the kind you might have tossed in a jar or dropped under your car seat, has become one of the most shocking modern treasures in U.S. coin history. To understand, we have to go back to 2009, the year America celebrated the 200th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. The U.S. Mint decided to honor that moment with something special. A brand new design for the Lincoln penny. In fact, there were 4 different reverse designs released that year, each one telling a part of Lincoln's incredible journey. Collectors called them the Lincoln Bicentennial Cents. But buried among the millions of coins that rolled off the presses, something strange happened. A small number of 2009 pennies left the mint without a mint mark, and with a mysterious difference in their composition and strike. At first, nobody noticed. They circulated like every other penny, buying gum, paying tolls, sitting in pockets. Until one day, a collector spotted one that looked different. The color was richer, the texture sharper, the finish more reflective. It didn't look like a penny that had ever seen circulation. And when it was weighed, measured, and examined under magnification, the truth came out. This wasn't just another 2009 cent. It was a 2009 no mint mark Lincoln penny, struck in Philadelphia, with an ultra-rare die variation that shouldn't even exist. And when that coin hit the auction block, the world of coin collecting stopped in its tracks. The hammer fell at nearly $2 million. Yes, $2 million, for a single cent. That's where things get even stranger. See. Most 2009 Lincoln pennies were struck either in Denver, marked with a D, or in San Francisco, with an S for proof issues. But a very tiny number came out of the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark at all, and some of those had been struck using leftover or experimental planchets not meant for general release. Some experts believe a small batch of these coins was struck using a bronze planchet, a throwback metal not used since 1982. Others suggest the die used to mint these coins had a microscopic doubling, creating a subtle but undeniable difference in Lincoln's face, his jacket, and the lettering around the rim. Whatever the truth, one thing was clear: collectors were stunned. Dealers rushed to confirm the find, and ordinary people started digging through every 2009 penny they could find, hoping lightning would strike twice. But what happened next stunned everyone even more. Within months, several more 2009 no-mint mark pennies surfaced, each showing different characteristics. Some had doubling on the Liberty inscription, others showed faint errors on the reverse, especially in the formative years design, where Lincoln sits on a log reading a book, and one example appeared to have been struck on a foreign planchet, weighing slightly less than it should. That coin alone sold for over $600,000. But it's the near-perfect specimen, flawless surface, sharp detail, brilliant luster, that shattered records and became the legendary $2 million penny. These coins didn't go straight from the mint to collectors. Most of them were released into circulation, mixed in with the billions of regular 2009 cents. That means your change jar, your coin collection, even that old coffee can in your garage, could hold a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Because the 2009 no-mint mark penny isn't just valuable for its metal. It represents a moment, a mint experiment, a production mystery, and a collector's dream rolled into one tiny copper disc. Here's what separates the $1 million miracle from the ordinary penny. First, check the obverse, Lincoln's portrait. If you see no mint mark under the date 2009, you're looking at a Philadelphia issue. But that alone isn't enough. Next, examine the reverse design. There were 4 types: birth and early childhood, formative years, professional life, and presidency. The most valuable no-mint mark coins are usually from the formative years and professional life designs, especially those with visible doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's hands. Then, weigh the coin. A standard 2009 cent should weigh about 2.5 grams. But the rare bronze versions can weigh closer to 3.1 grams. That's the first sign you might have something extraordinary. Finally, check for the condition. The $1 million examples are in mint state, MS 68 or higher, meaning nearly flawless surfaces, brilliant shine, and razor-sharp details. Even slightly lower grades can still sell for tens of thousands of dollars. And remember, some of these coins only revealed their secrets years later, when experts re-examined what they thought were ordinary cents. So if you've been saving 2009 pennies all these years, it might be time to take another look, because what looks like a common cent today could be your $2 million discovery tomorrow. Collectors still whisper about the man who found the first one, a retired machinist from Illinois who spotted it while rolling up spare change. He thought it looked shinier than usual. Little did he know, that single moment of curiosity would turn into a life-changing fortune. Stories like that are why so many coin enthusiasts refuse to give up. Because somewhere out there, another 2009 no-mint mark penny might still be waiting, hiding in plain sight. Maybe in your change, your wallet, or your kid's coin collection. One small coin, one unbelievable mistake, one life forever changed. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, take a closer look. That 2009 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be the one, the rare gem worth $2 million. You might already own it. Because sometimes, the greatest treasures in America aren't buried in the ground, they're sitting quietly in your pocket change, waiting for you to notice.